What's up, fellas? Welcome to the garage. Well, we are nearing the end of the welding on the Sierra Sapphire. I have welded the front end as well. It's kind of similar to what I was doing on the Sierra Coupe in the forming the front end video. So I actually cut away this piece and just kind of straightened it out. You know, it was crashed and bent in this position, but now, as you can see, it's sitting straight as an perpendicular arrow. Also, I replaced this piece here. I've cut it away from the Sierra estate there and made this looking just as original, apart from the color, of course. But I will be painting this whole engine bay. The engine bay I will be painting with a spray gun, because we do have some smooth surfaces here and I don't want that rough finish that a paintbrush leaves, you know. So yeah, I will be painting this, but first I will be try fitting some engines here, so stick around for that. But today we are dealing with the last part of the welding here on the Sierra, and those of course are these arches. This one is in much worse condition than that one. Let me show you. Here it has rotten through and through, but that's not the main issue. Originally there comes kind of a lip here, so yeah, I can show you on the other side. Like this, you know? And this here is a problematic piece of the car, because here there are two layers of the sheet metal, which you can see here. I've cut only the upper level away, and through the years, with the moisture getting behind there, these tend to rust quite gladly. And the rust, of course, develops here, as we've seen on the other side, and also here on this edge. So here I've replaced this piece already with stainless steel, and I will be doing the same for this piece here. I will be cutting away all of this and just replacing it with a nice thick stripe of stainless, and that should be good. But on the other side we have quite some more problems. If I pull my light here, check this out. I wanted to replace only that stripe here as well, but as you can see, this sheet metal here has also started rusting. And before you know, this rust will come through. I tried grinding it a little from the inside, but the rust seems to be quite deep in the material. So on this side I will have to replace this piece also. Luckily I do have another piece of Sierra here. This one is actually off of a Sierra cosworth, believe it or not, and I will be piecing it apart and use some of the parts. I've already cut away this edge here because it was a bit rusty too, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to open this thing up just to really see what is hiding in there, because I really don't want to mess with the rust developing on this car anymore. I will do my best to really get rid of all the little pieces of rust. The alternative to using that piece would be, of course, making all of this from scratch. But the main issue here is that this shape is quite complex, and I want it to be as perfect as possible, because I really don't want to be chasing the shape with body filler. Well, would you look at that? It's starting to rust on the exact same place as the red Sierra. See? Here it looks great, but behind there lies the cancer. I will try to just clean that with the wire wheel, and we'll see how severe this rust situation is here. We still might use this piece. Alright, so I figured there's really no point of using this piece because I would be essentially doing the same thing as I can do on the car directly. So I won't be using this. I will be actually attempting to fix this. As you can see here, I've already cut this little stripe away. And before that, of course, I made the exact copy. Well, as close copy as possible. And now I will actually tack weld it like so. You can see here it fits quite nicely, and I'm just gonna go from bottom up and just tack weld it on there. Then I will just continue and cut away this stripe here as well and try and fabricate this patch here. This one will be a bit more complex because if you take a look from this side, you can see it's not just straight, but it goes out like this here. This shape is by no means flat. And here it goes inwards a little. I will do my best to mimic this, again, to not have to use too much body filler, but one bite at a time. We'll start here and make our way to the end. For this inside piece, this bottom layer, I might just cut out and use a piece of that one, the cosworth one, but we'll be mounting that the last. Also, I was worried how I'm going to protect the weld going like here from the corrosion from the upper side. But I have removed this belt mechanism and I will be actually able to reach it from here. So there's no problem regarding that. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, that turned out pretty good. Look at this. Not bad. Here, as we know, should be kind of a radius, kind of like here, see? So how I'm gonna achieve that is by welding a nice fat weld from behind, filling this gap here, and then I will be able to grind this or polish it, you know, to get that smooth radius. But that comes a bit later. Now let's carry on with this part here. Alright, carrying on. So I decided I'm gonna go with filling this slot here, and doing so completed this straight line here, and also I ensured myself a reference point. As you can see, kind of a little corner there, you see? Now I've just roughly marked this line here, and I'm going to cut away this little piece. If necessary, I will go ahead and cut a little further, but for now I'm just gonna cut this out and make a replacement patch. I will try to make as perfect patch as I can to match all these surfaces. And once that is installed, I'm just going to replace this middle section as well, and we'll be actually be done with the outer side of this repair. Alright, so that's another patch installed. It ended up not being as difficult really, because this piece is actually almost flat. I just ended up putting it on spot and then just started putting some spot welds in there. And along the way I just kept sure that everything is perfectly flat. And yeah, this is what I ended up with. I'm very happy with the result. Here as well I will fill this little void with weld, and this will give me a nice thick edge here, which I will be able to grind and match this radius. So this will be perfect, just as we were never here. Now let me make this middle section as well. Well, this piece wasn't that bad at all, but while we're at it, it just makes sense to make everything stainless, right? Sorry, not sorry. Okay, so I have welded this all around. As you can see, I have to grind it, of course. But now I'm dealing with the inner side. I started from the bottom up, but I will have to make some plates. I have made up my mind and I will be doing this out of stainless as well. I mean these parts here. We have to close this, you know, this comes attached to this here in order to give this edge a bit of rigidity. As you can see, this is moving slightly now. The way I'm gonna do this is just, you know, CAD, cardboard aided design. I will just take this shape, then cut the piece, then just modify it and bend it and bash it and crash it if needed to suit in this place. And the same here on the back side. Now the one thing we should care about is that we want to protect all the surfaces against rust. And we have to keep in mind, if we just close this off, we have to cover this surface with that anti-corrosion base paint at least. Because while we can reach some surfaces from the upper side, here for example, the space between there is very tight and we won't be able to reach that. So let me just paint these surfaces here and then we will start closing this off. On the back side we don't have this problem because we can access these surfaces from the trunk, so there's no problem there. So let me grab some cardboard. I think I will be doing this in 3 pieces here. Alright, so check this out. We got a brand new, or restored rather, inner side. Here's how it looks like. It follows the exact same shape as it was originally, so there shouldn't be any problems with the fitment of the wheel or anything. So now what I'll do is I will grind this weld away as well, and here this nice radius. Once I finish that, then I will proceed to make this lip. I also have to make sure that this line is perfectly straight. I've also used the pliers and just slightly bend this edge outside. Just slightly. Just as it was originally. So it goes a little bit out on the bottom end, and then there comes that radius and then the final lip here. So that's that. Alright, so I have ground this, and lo and behold, I noticed that this panel has bent a little. So I had no other choice but to cut this part out, and then by bashing it from the inside and yeah, from all sorts of places, I put it back, somewhat back in the original position. Oh my, I can't believe it. This side is finally finished. This one was a straight up bitch and it gave me lots of problems. Of course, it's no other's fault than mine, but yeah, I've finally managed to get this kind of straight. I think I will be able to make this nice and smooth with body filler, because I made sure that there are no high spots anywhere, but I rather have some minor low spots. So I will be able to just fill this with the filler and just connect these two surfaces and making it nice and straight. The important part is that this line is intact and nice and straight, because these are very, very hard even with body filler, you know, to make nice and straight back. But yeah, here is kind of the finished result. I still have to grind it with the finer wheel, but pretty much that is it. I made the radius here, as you can see. I might make this a little bigger, but I will be taking care of that once I start with the body, you know, with the upper side of the body, painting and everything. Inside it looks like this. These are all stainless patches, and yeah, I will be just painting over. We got a stainless lip here, and yeah, all nice and good. So let's move on then. We got one more thing to weld, and that's this side here. As you can see, I've cut away this original lip. I must say that it really wasn't in that bad of a condition, but still, it had some minor signs of rust. But I'm sure over, let's say, a period of a year, the rust would come out. So I don't regret cutting it away at all. Mainly because this one will be much easier to set up than that one, because we don't have any rust here on this body panel, and we will be keeping that one intact. All what I'm gonna do is just cut away a little pieces like so and weld them on, something like that. Again, work my way up from here all the way till this side here. By cutting away this lip here, the original one, we actually cut away the welds that actually hold together this and this piece. However, this is very sturdy still, you know, because of the other welds on the car. By installing this lip, if we call it here, of course I will have to weld it on, and by welding it on I will actually weld together those two pieces as well, so this will be all nice and good. So let's do that.